Thousands stand in audition queues, but only one usually gets the job, except that it's the same people that keep being recycled for television roles. And can the entertainment industry grow if people are wearing multiple hats and there's hardly space for new entrants? South Africa has seen the return of the hashtag Open Up the Industry on Twitter, a desperate call for new faces to grace our screens. While this call is not new, this time it's gone deeper. And to discover why gatekeepers are not prepared to let new talent in, we are going to explore this. And we ask, who has to open up the industry? My guests in the studio tonight are the founding partner director at Bomb Productions, Angus Gibson. And welcome, Angus. And the founder of hashtag Open Up the Industry, Phumlani Kango. Welcome, Phumlani.
Thank you so much, Tim.
As well as entertainment blogger Mphela. Phil, pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Right, let me start with you, Phumlani. You feel very strongly about this, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to help me understand what exactly the issue is about the entertainment industry. Who knows, it might be that you understand it differently to the role players in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. I speak from a consumer point of view. However, I do have friends who have studied the craft, but also who have also experienced the industry, and I also do have friends who are in the industry as well. So the hashtag, when I started it, it wasn't an attack on people who are getting jobs, because it also speaks to salaries. If you also look at how the hashtag now has also developed, because now you see also some of the people in the entertainment industry also speaking out on salaries. The fact that people have to accept 3 jobs in order to survive speaks on the issues of salaries. So the hashtag was just an invitation to gatekeepers in the industry to come forward and have the conversation with the people that aspire to get into the industry. So it was not to say don't accept these jobs, don't accept, because at the end of the day we have to feed our families.
Yeah.
And people have families to feed.
Yeah.
So my thinking was, I just want to create a conversation where we can actually talk about how we can facilitate new entrants into the entertainment industry. Yeah.
Yeah, and here we are. We're having a conversation.
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
started. But you know, some of the roles in the entertainment sector are very demanding. They require a lot from the individuals. And Phil, I'd like you to comment about that. I mean, you've been observing the entertainment industry, reporting on it for quite some time. What is your sense? Things changing or things remaining the same and same individuals being recycled?
Okay, you see, the thing is, these days with social media, we have to make something very clear. Perception and reality are 2 things, okay? The perception out there is that there are no new faces in the industry, but the reality is, if you switched on your television in any given week and you watched all the shows that we have on television, you'll see that in the past 5 years, there's been a throng of new faces. But because our media, like your magazines and the entertainment reporting and social media, is fixated in the careers of a select few, they are only looking at what those few people are doing. Because if you're going to sit and tell me that the industry is closed to actors who are coming into the industry who've studied acting, I will send you to any soapy right now. I mean, I'll send you to Mzansi Magic and look at what the shows on Mzansi Magic have done. There's a whole channel called, I think it's called Mzansi Bioscope, right? That channel offers an opportunity for filmmakers, young filmmakers and young actors, whatever, a platform to have their talent seen on there. Nobody watches as well. Some people do, but a lot of people don't watch that. And those are the very same people that will be on social media talking about there's no new faces in the industry. There are new faces in the industry. We just need to get into a habit of supporting new faces when we see them. And that's where I'm coming from.
We must get into a habit of supporting new faces when we see them. Who should support?
The public, because at the end of the day,
In what way, though?
Listen, let me explain it.
Yes.
At the end of the day, newsrooms work this way. If you're not consuming what they're offering, they're not going to continue offering you that thing. If you're not sitting at home only caring about seeing certain people and only buying into their bread and only buying into their career, then the newsrooms will be forced, the entertainment newsrooms will be forced to look beyond those people and look at other people and put them out there. But as we sit right now, if an entertainment reporter were to bring up a story or a feature story profiling a new actor that a lot of people have not heard of, or a new actor that in terms of celebrity they are not an A-list but they've been in the industry for years, nobody's going to open that article. So the editor's going to say what? No. Go find what Sumis is doing on Instagram and let's put that up.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from, saying before you chastise the industry, at least know about the industry, know that there are avenues in the industry that are open to a lot of people. That
Well,
people
for
are
a
not
moment,
aware of.
I suspected you're going to turn around and point at Phumlani and say, "You hear me?"
No, he came from the right space.
Yeah.
Do it again.
We've had the debate often on social media, Phil and I, about this conversation, and I think like Phil raises a lot of valid points. Because I've also worked in PR, when you interview requests for new faces, for example, you have to give so many reasons as to why this person needs to be featured.
Well, let's pause for a moment.
Yeah.
I want Angus to also come in here and share with us the whole process of identifying talent, all right? Because sometimes it may be that in our minds we believe that we deserve to be A-listers and we deserve the shot, the break, but we may not possess the requisite talent and the creative, oomph to make it. Angus, how do you go about it?
So right from the beginning, I've always been interested in putting new talent on the screen. Almost every show that we do, we try to put new faces. But there's obviously a tension between providing security for actors that are brilliant and have been in the industry for a long time and giving new people opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, in this coming week, Istembiso will have 4 new characters, and 3 of them have never been on the screen before.
Yeah.
So, we're giving opportunities to very talented young people. But I would say it's something that concerns me enormously, because I kind of feel like there is such a huge pool of talent. And believe me, there are, many, many people want to be actors, and there are not so many that are brilliant at it. But there is a big pool of brilliant actors that just do not get opportunity. And I'm kind of aware, I'm in constant contact with new talent, and I'm constantly saying to them, be patient. I mean, literally, there have been actors, for example, that got opportunities on Isibaya that I had been, in contact with for literally 12 years. And then Isibaya came up, and I thought, here's the opportunity. And they've got roles that are incredible. But the problem with shows like these telenovelas, like Isibaya, Istembiso, is that they provide a security for a group of people, both the crew and the cast. And so to bring new people onto that show, inevitably it means shifting somebody out of that secure space. So that is, for me as a producer, that is a constant tension.
And I suppose the channels themselves also have a lot of influence in terms of how far you can go in stretching the budgets, isn't it? I'm suspecting they also insist that you have to have certain actors in the particular soapies and telenovelas that you put together.
Well, at the moment we're working with Mnet, and we have a large amount of independence. I mean, they certainly, it is a discussion with them, but they certainly trust us in our judgment around that. But they have their stars, they have their familiar faces that they would be very reluctant to lose. But they are open to bringing in new people. But, with a confined budget, if you increase the world, you've got to take people out of. And I know pretty much every actor that works with us. I know their circumstances, and I know what it is. In this industry, if you lose a job, there's no guarantee that you will go on to the next one immediately.
And there's also an issue of talent development. What channels do sometimes is you develop talent within the company. Like you'll have an SABC that will start with somebody putting them on a show that nobody watches, and they grow that person, and then they'll put them on a primetime show, and like that. So that also factors into the business decisions that are made by channels in terms of keeping faces, because it doesn't make sense to keep on rotating people and not really building them as viable entities for the long term.
Whilst you're still there, Phil, I want you to differentiate for me between the difference between talent and celebrity, because I think
Hey,
Shaking the table.
well, I suspect that some of the problem comes from there. You see that we confuse the two, that talent and celebrity are one and the same.
Sentiment aside, let's just be honest, okay? This is a business, and unfortunately, because it's a business, we're looking at the numbers. Because the numbers makes more sense than actually honoring, talent. So talent, in a general sense, as you know, just means, performers and people who work. And celebrities, anybody can be a celebrity. You can just have a popular account on Twitter or on Instagram, and then you are seen as a celebrity because you have an influence. We laugh at it, but that's something that is monetized. True. That's something that businesses make money off of. And our entertainment industry, small as it is, it's kind of like Hollywood in a way, because if you have people who have influence on what people watch and what people buy into, those people are a commodity that you can use as a business to make money. So you will want to have those people on your show. But now, the thing is finding the right balance. I will not be bothered by having, Twitter people on TV acting, whatever. Anybody should have an opportunity to do what they want. But the balance has to be right. Having those people in doesn't mean that now the people who have gone and studied the craft don't get to have an opportunity because they don't have enough followers on social media, because then that kills the industry and it kills the craft.
Yeah, and of course, some of the artistic work, the creative work requires a particular set of skills and talent.
And you can see it. You can see it when somebody has not learned or somebody doesn't appreciate, the craft and the industry. You can see it. You can see how they conduct themselves in interviews. You can see how they conduct themselves in terms of building themselves as an artist. And I genuinely believe that we can see it, and when you see it, we need to be able to say, okay, fine, you are not ready for this space. Let's give this platform to somebody else who's prepared.
Now, Phumlani, you raised this. You probably had ideas of what you think would have worked or can work. What do you think can help open up the industry?
Firstly, I'm a big fan of Bomb Productions. They've done a lot for the industry. For example, a lot of the veteran actors that we know now started with Bomb and Yizo Yizo. And most of the new faces we see in the industry come from Bomb Productions. So for me, ideally, I'm an idealist. I'd look at it in the sense that how can we have BE? So why don't we have a quota for new faces? Because at the same time, no, listen, Phil, genuinely, why don't we have a quota for new faces? Because at the end of the day, it also goes back to that thing of why are certain industries respected and others aren't? Because you can't tell me now that you're going to wake up and decide today to call yourself a chef when you aren't trained. Because as Phil mentioned, trained actors know how to conduct themselves, but also at the same time, it speaks a lot on the passion. But because fame is a drug and a lot of people are chasing it in South Africa, people aren't doing it for the right reasons. So ideally, I would like if there was a quota maybe for the show.
It's laughable. It's funny because I can even see people who are studying acting right now sitting at home saying, what? Because here's the thing. Acting is about can you do the role or not? Do you understand? When you get into a casting room, that's it.
Word from you. What do you think? What's the better way forward?
I kind of impose a quota on myself. Because I'm just very aware that there are great people out there just not getting opportunity. They are brilliant, and they have not had anything to chew on.
An opportunity, The fact that also people need to have a lot of followers these days.
Some of the sectors are very, very complicated because of a whole number of reasons. Something of golf, somebody once told me and said, only 20 golfers in the world make or take 80% of the money, and everybody else who plays golf must share the remaining 20%. 20 individuals.
I also need to say this because it's very important. The one thing that other people also forget is that just because you see an actor on a show, on two shows at the same time on TV, it does not mean that they shot those shows at the same time. You could be seeing this actor on this show and he shot that 3 or 2 years ago, but they happen to be airing at the same time. So it means that in that period, he was not working. Do you understand? And now you sitting at home saying, I don't want to see him on TV on 2 shows and 3 shows, without understanding that, no, this person could have only just worked 3 times.
And then you throw in the problem of royalties not being paid.
Yeah, well, there's a different conversation.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right?
So for me, Tim, you know, like with Phil, I think Phil is looking at it from one point of view because, as I said earlier, this conversation has opened up so many things. For example, look at the Me Too movement and how it exposed the Hollywood industry.
Yeah.
So Open Up the Industry has also exposed a lot of things that are happening in the industry.
Sure.
In South Africa.
Salaries, we're having the
culture tradition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Angus, last word to you, brief one. What do? I mean, we just talk and we move on and we wait for another round of the hashtag
Well,
Open Up.
I would encourage everybody to follow Phumlani's rule. But at the same time, I am loyal to many actors that I have a long history with. And they are loyal to us. They do great work for us. And I want to see them with solid careers.
Sure. All right. Gentlemen, thank you very
balancing
much.
those two things.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank
Much
you so much, Tim.
appreciated. And of course, we should have opened up even this and had a woman or two on the show.
Yes.
But I tell you, 1 or 2 of them actually pulled out for other reasons. Thank you very much for having been my guest.
Thank you.
And that's our show for tonight. I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the Modise Network. And news is next with Andy Hatton.